Hi, everybody. Welcome to TGCS. My name is Tim Gallagher, and today we are going to be discussing AP Computer Science A, topic 4.3, array creation and access. And in the second of two videos, we'll discuss assigning values to individual element locations within an array and accessing those individual locations. Let's get started. So here I've got the beginnings of a program where I have an array of strings created. Now, in the last video, we talked about how we can actually create arrays. Here's an example of that by saying string, open close bracket to indicate an array of strings. The name of my string, the name of my array is states, and then I say equals new string 4. And by putting a 4 in that second set of brackets, this will create an array of size 4 that has the potential to store strings. Now, right now, all of those elements are null because I haven't actually put anything into the array. Last video, we looked at how we can do that with an initializer list. But what if we want to create an empty array and then put values into individual locations of my array itself? Well, here's how we can do that. So notice on the first line, I have states bracket 0 equals Florida. I don't say states equals Florida because I don't want to put the whole array filled with Florida. I just want to say states bracket 0, meaning I want the string located at index number 0 to contain the value Florida. So it's just like assigning to a regular variable, except I use the brackets to have an index number to indicate what box or what element of my array I want to populate with the string Florida. Then I use states bracket 1 to assign the value of New York to the position number 1 in my array. And then I say system.out.println states bracket 1. So just like we use the bracket and index to assign a value to an array, we can also use that bracket notation with an index number inside to access an element from an array. And in this case, I'm printing it out. So what happens when I'm running this code? New York gets printed out because I'm printing out the element that's contained in array index number 1, which we can see is New York. Now, what if I change that? Now, what if I say states bracket 1 equals Texas? Well, this is replacing the element at location 1 with the string Texas. So now when I print out states 1, it's going to print out Texas also. It doesn't go back and change the thing I printed before, but now that the array has Texas at spot 1, it prints out Texas. Now, notice the rest of the array is still null, correct? So now when I say print out states bracket 3, it's going to print out null. It's not the string null, it's just the null value, and that's how it prints it out on the screen. But there is no element in box 3. But what about this next one? States bracket 4 equals Georgia. Can you spot the problem here? There is no box 4 in my array. So as a result, notice I get an exception thrown. It says exception to thread main, array index out of bounds exception. Index 4 is out of bounds for my length of 4. I have a length of 4, but they're only numbered 0, 1, 2, and 3. So when I try to assign something to index location number 4, I get an array index out of bounds. The same thing would happen if I tried to use an index of -1 or any negative number or any other number that's larger than 3. So another way we can use arrays is, what if we have two arrays together and we have what we call parallel arrays, or arrays that have corresponding values with matching index numbers? So here I have two arrays created. I have an array of strings called names, and then I have another array called GPAs that has corresponding GPAs for each element of the names array. So then you'll notice in my print line statements, again, how we can access those individual elements. I said to print line names bracket 0, and then has a GPA of, and I print out GPAs bracket 0. So here, these parallel arrays, I can print out corresponding names and corresponding GPAs for each element in the array. I also printed out names bracket 1 has a GPA of GPAs bracket 1. So my arrays end up looking like this, and you can see that the index numbers correspond a name with a GPA, another name with another GPA. And so when this code runs, it prints out that Abigail has a GPA of 4.0, and it prints out that Bobby has a GPA of 3.8. So in this video, we discussed how we could assign individual values to element locations within an array, and We also saw how we could access those individual locations as well, both using the bracket notation with our index values. We also looked at how we could use two parallel arrays to store a list of related items. All right, that's it for this video. Thanks again so much for joining us here today. Don't forget to like this video and hit the subscribe button to subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you next time. Take care.